Welcome to Neo Nexus. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated. Tonight we turn our attention to a region that has become a focal point of international tension and intrigue. The South China Sea is more than just a shipping route. It's a flashpoint where national pride, economic security, and strategic interests collide. Every year, trillions of dollars worth of goods pass through these waters, making it one of the busiest and most vital maritime corridors in the world. For the Philippines, these waters are a lifeline, vital for fishing, trade, and national identity. Generations of Filipino families have depended on these seas for their livelihoods, and the bounty of the ocean is woven into the fabric of their culture. Any encroachment is met with fierce resistance as these resources are seen as a birthright. The sight of foreign vessels in these waters stirs deep emotions and a sense of urgency to defend what is theirs. For China, the sea is a symbol of historical legacy and a key to future power, both economically and militarily. The government sees control over these waters as essential to its national rejuvenation and long-term ambitions. Control here means energy security and a stronger regional presence. Beneath the waves lie vast reserves of oil and natural gas, resources that could fuel economies and shape the future of Asia. Today, tensions are about more than maps or treaties. They impact daily lives, from Filipino fishermen to Chinese policymakers. The decisions made in distant boardrooms ripple out to the people who depend on these waters every day. The South China Sea is now one of the world's most closely watched geopolitical hotspots. Military maneuvers, diplomatic standoffs, and international headlines keep the world's eyes fixed on this region. Every move is scrutinized, and the stakes are high for both nations. The outcome of this dispute could set precedents for international law and reshape alliances in the region. This is a story of clashing interests, where economic needs and national identity meet head-on. The struggle for control is as much about the future as it is about the past. What happens here could shift the balance of power across the globe, influencing not just Asia, but the entire international community for years to come. At the heart of this high-stakes dispute lies Scarborough Shoal, called Panatag Shoal by Filipinos and known as Huangyan Island to the Chinese. This small rocky atoll is more than just a speck in the vast South China Sea. It's a symbol of national pride and a focal point of international tension. Located just 120 nautical miles from Luzon, the largest island in the Philippines, Scarborough Shoal sits well within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, a maritime area recognized by international law. Yet China asserts its own claim, arguing that history is on its side. The shoal itself is uninhabited, a ring of rocks and reefs, but its sheltered lagoon has been a vital fishing ground for generations of Filipino fishermen. For many coastal communities, these waters are a source of food, income, and tradition. Its location is highly strategic, controlling access to some of the world's busiest shipping lanes. Whoever holds Scarborough Shoal can project influence across the South China Sea, a region rich in resources and vital to global trade. China's claim is rooted in historical discovery and ancient maps, not in proximity or modern international law. The shoal is a crucial point in China's sweeping nine-dash line, which covers most of the South China Sea and overlaps with the claims of several other countries. Since 2012, China has maintained a near-constant presence at the shoal, deploying Coast Guard ships and surveillance vessels to control access and assert its authority. Scarborough Shoal has become a flashpoint for tense standoffs between Chinese and Filipino Coast Guard ships, with each side determined to defend its claim. These confrontations are often tense, sometimes dangerous, and watched closely by the world. Here, international law and historical claims collide, leaving local fishermen caught in the crossfire. Their livelihoods depend on access to these waters, but the ongoing dispute has made fishing risky and uncertain. The fight over these seemingly insignificant rocks is now a test of sovereignty, national resolve, and diplomatic skill for both Manila and Beijing. Each side is under pressure to stand firm, yet avoid open conflict. This tiny atoll, barely visible on most maps, has become a giant source of regional instability. Its fate could shape the future of the South China Sea and the balance of power in Asia. The Philippines grounds its claim on international law and historical maps, notably a 1734 Spanish map and the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. The shoal lies well within its 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, and Manila has exercised jurisdiction for over a century. China's claim reaches back to ancient surveys and the Yuan dynasty, arguing historical discovery and administration. The modern basis is the 9-dash line, first published in the 1940s, which covers nearly 90% of the South China Sea. This line clashes with UNCLOS, which bases rights on coastal geography, not history. The result, a diplomatic deadlock, with both sides refusing to yield. At its core, this is a battle between history and modern law. In 2013, the Philippines took China to court, challenging the 9-dash line under UNCLOS. The Permanent Court of Arbitration ruled in 2016, China's historic claims had no legal basis, and Scarborough Shoal was a traditional fishing ground for all. The decision was a legal and moral victory for the Philippines, affirming its maritime rights. China rejected the ruling outright, refusing to participate or comply, and instead increased its presence in the disputed waters. The world watched as international law clashed with raw power. For Manila, the ruling was a powerful tool, but with no way to enforce it at sea. China's defiance left the Philippines with a paper victory and a practical stalemate. The tribunal's decision set a precedent, but enforcement remains elusive. The standoff continues, with both sides digging in. The legal battle is far from over. The conflict has moved from the sea to maps and digital platforms. In 2025, the Philippines passed new laws and published official maps, reinforcing its claims around Scarborough Shoal. Google Maps updated its platform, labeling the area as the West Philippine Sea when viewed from the Philippines, a soft power win for Manila. China quickly countered, publishing its own coordinates and maps, rejecting the new labels and asserting its own narrative. Cartography has become a weapon, with both sides fighting to legitimize their claims in the public eye. Official maps and digital platforms now shape global perceptions. For the Philippines, it's about cementing the tribunal victory. For China, it's about showing it won't be pressured by legal or digital means. The battle over names and lines reflects the deeper struggle for sovereignty. Legal battles have been matched by rising tensions at sea, with both sides refusing to back down. From late 2024 to August 2025, confrontations between Chinese and Philippine vessels near Scarborough Shoal have escalated. Water cannons, dangerous maneuvers, and swarming tactics by Chinese vessels have become common, intimidating Filipino fishermen and supply missions. Each incident risks miscalculation and a wider crisis. The Philippines has responded with public condemnation and evidence of China's growing presence. These encounters are the real-world consequences of the unresolved dispute. Scarborough Shoal is now one of the world's most volatile maritime flashpoints, drawing global attention. The world is watching and getting involved. The South China Sea has become a global flashpoint, drawing the attention of governments, military strategists, and ordinary citizens alike. What happens here could set the tone for international relations in the years to come. The U.S. has reaffirmed its defense treaty with the Philippines, sending warships near Scarborough Shoal and openly opposing China's sweeping claims. American patrols are now a regular sight, signaling a commitment to freedom of navigation and regional stability. Australia, Japan, and India have stepped up military cooperation, holding joint exercises and supporting a rules-based order. Their presence sends a clear message: the international community will not stand by as tensions rise. ASEAN remains divided, with member states balancing economic ties and security concerns. Yet outside support has strengthened Manila's position, giving the Philippines new leverage in diplomatic negotiations. China, meanwhile, shows no sign of backing down. It continues to build up its military and Coast Guard presence, constructing new outposts and deploying advanced vessels to assert its dominance. The Philippines, emboldened by legal victories at international courts and the support of powerful allies, is more assertive than ever. Its leaders are determined to defend their nation's rights and territory. The risk of escalation remains high, with both sides unwilling to yield. Each new incident at sea brings the possibility of miscalculation, raising fears of a broader conflict that could draw in more nations. For Filipinos, it's about sovereignty and livelihood, protecting their homes and the seas that feed them. For China, it's about power, legacy, and securing vital trade routes for future generations. The outcome of this standoff will shape not just the region, but the world. Decisions made here will influence global alliances, economic flows, and the very rules that govern the seas. The future of the South China Sea is uncertain, but its impact will be global. Trillions of dollars in trade pass through these waters, making stability here a matter of worldwide concern. The ripples from these troubled waters are just beginning to spread, and the world will be watching closely as the next chapter unfolds.